Oh, I'm not interacting at all. That would explain that. Okay, so quit that. Now scene.py interact. So it's going to... Oh yeah, so this won't even run. This will just crash because there's no DT. I guess I can just do 1 divided by the frame rate. It should have the same effect. And then frame offset here will make some sense. It'll be updated once. Okay, and then I can have this loop for 1 frame. Frame offset can be 0, I think. I think this should actually be this should be called animation offset, I think. I put a 0 there. It'll break after the elapsed time reaches the frame offset. Oh, so this should be 1 over the config. This should be the rate that I update them, so this should just be factored out. Like so. And maybe that will actually work for interaction. Great. Okay, I guess that wasn't so much work. Is the animation start time needed here? I think it actually was. Because it can go through this, swap buffers. It's going to look for the animation elapsed time. Oh, one thing, animation start time. This should be time.now or time.time. When this was 0, it was going through this and it was taking time.time minus 0, and this was going to be an enormous number. And so the animation elapsed time would be really large here. I think this is more accurate if I import time. Well, it's definitely slower. Yeah, I'd rather just, even if it's less accurate, quote unquote, that's what I do. Just set that to 0. If it takes that much longer to, I guess, take the time from within the render loop, I would rather just do it the other way. Okay. So that wasn't so much work. I can take out the time import. It wasn't so much work. That's only testing code. So I guess there's only writing that. Although quitting still doesn't work. And rotating the camera still doesn't work. So we'll work on those next. Wait, interact. Let me do this after the shift. Just to make sure it's doing what I expect. And it didn't do the shift at all. So why did that happen? It's just stopping after that. Oh. This? Swap buffers? The keyboard interrupt. It's just stopping after that. Oh. This? Swap buffers? The keyboard interrupt. Don't know what keyboard interrupt is happening. Oh wait, am I even playing the right thing? Because I didn't animate a fade in. This is Manim 2. Test. And the move to mouse point and the add. Okay, I'm gonna switch this to a circle, see what's going on. So that stops, and it should. Let's try this. Yeah, it's not moving. I guess the interaction is working. For what that's worth. Circle.animate.shift right. Why is that not working? Is that broken on master? Put this here. Try testing. There's no mouse point, that's true. Okay, so I broke it somewhere in the interaction. Stuff. Darn. It's too bad we don't have tests too. So there aren't a ton of changes here. What would have changed or stopped the updating from working? Take the same example. Run the test again. Okay, it did work that time. Is it only if I add the updater? Oh, this makes sense actually. If the circle is moving toward the mouse point at every frame, then every time it shifts, it's just going to move toward the mouse point, and I guess the default mouse point. So if you remove that updater, then it will work. So what I'd want to do is play, then add the updater. We'll see if this works. Okay, well, there's no interact. Wait, didn't I add that? Adding it now? Oh. Git diff, git reset, git stash pop. Reset, git stash pop. There, okay. So this example doesn't work. This example should work. Or it'll work, or I'll have more work to do. Okay, so it did work. I guess it moved back to the center in sort of a weird way. But I guess that's just because that's the default mouse point. But okay. So that is working. I think I'm just going to commit that, because that's pretty helpful on its own. And then I'm just going to commit that, because that's pretty helpful on its own. And then after that I'll work on the camera and closing the window. Why is this a change? I guess I added that in before I committed the last time. So I'll just keep it, whatever. Makes for a smaller diff. Edit interact. So that's cool. And then let's try to get quitting to work. Looks for window that is closing. There must be something in window that just listens for a cue. On mouse press. Is that on mouse press? That has this event dispatcher stuff. Well, here it checks for a Z, which I didn't even know that was a key that did something. Guess it's not doing anything for me. Is it Z and then scrolling or something like that? It is Z and then scrolling. And then D to rotate. Not the most intuitive controls, but okay. So where's the Q? Here it is, on key press. The value of the key, the press key is too large. It's gonna do this event stuff. Okay. It just sets self-deck quit interaction goes true. So here's on mouse motion, which I also copied, I think. No, and that's also the frame stuff, I think. If D is also pressed, then it increments phi and theta. But for on, it's not mouse press, on key press. Try this. I'm just gonna copy this. Just going to steal this. Self symbol modifiers, yeah, just take all of it. Okay, so I have that. This should be logger dot warning or something. The key press is too large, and that'll stop it immediately. Event data. Don't think I need that. Yeah, event data is only for the event dispatcher. So if R self dot, okay, this doesn't hold the camera, or does it? It does have access to the camera. So do self dot camera. It does have access to the camera. So do self dot camera. Actually, I'm just gonna start with this one. Self dot quit interaction equals true. See if this one can quit the scene. Okay, so it's running so far. It doesn't do anything. Great. I actually know why that would happen. I didn't move it to the window. On key press. So I want to do this. Pressed keys dot add symbol. I guess for modifier keys. It just does the super and then calls it on self.scene. That makes sense. Difference update. What is self.pressed keys? A set? Can't you just set.remove in Python? Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna copy both of those. Self.press keys.add. This will be self.press keys.remove. And we're just gonna call both of these. And on key press. I already moved over. On key release. Won't have to do anything for now. Hey, Discrete Games, what's going on? I went into one of your streams the other day and I think you were speed running. Which I didn't know you were speed running. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's see what we got. So now this on key press, this is going to be forwarded to the scene. That should set quit interaction to true. And on key release, we can deal with that later. Okay, so that works. Quitting does not work. Okay. So I'm going to see if this is ever called. So I'm just going to print the car. Okay, it looks like it's not even being called. Let's see if we're coming into here. You don't do speedruns, that wasn't you? Were you playing a game without speedrunning? I remember, what was it? Because like first you were doing blocks, or you were like building something. And then following that, I don't know, maybe I'm just misremembering. I could just be getting this completely wrong. You can connect stuff. I haven't streamed games in a while. Okay. I think I'm getting it mixed up with two different people. But also maybe I just watched way too many speedruns. So the window doesn't have a scene. That makes sense. Okay, so maybe now, if we're lucky. Okay, so now that actually quits it. Cool. Kind of janky for this just to be hard-coded here. Very janky, actually. Cool. Kind of janky for this just to be hard-coded here. Very janky, actually. But our config is complicated enough that I think I'm just going to leave it there. Okay, so that worked. Self.pressed keys is still a set. Great, so that does pretty much everything I wanted to do. I'm gonna try to make the dragging turn the camera. Mouse, if I type, drag. This will be the renderer. Okay. And then the function, I'm just going to copy from Grant. Okay, so this is if the key's already pressed. It probably doesn't make sense for the window to hold information about whether the key is pressed or not. It should probably be the renderer, but that's okay. Yeah, that's okay for now. I wonder what S does. Oh, S is for shifting. Okay, so I'm going to try to just move this over. But not with the D key. The camera is just self.camera. So the self.camera. Same thing here. I need those. I need D point or whatever. Did I just get the signature wrong? On mouse drag has this signature. On mouse drag here. Oh, this. Oh, he's computing point the difference and then buttons. I don't know what buttons. Oh, that must be the mouse buttons that are held. Okay. This is the renderer. So now it's getting point and D point in the buttons. So now it can do increment theta and increment phi, I think. Depending on how our camera actually works. I think OpenGL camera is here. Oh, you know what? I don't know if the Euler angles are even passed into the shaders right now. Pixel chords to space chords. Wait, what just broke? Oh, that's held in the renderer, which makes sense. So this needs the renderer. So maybe now this does the interaction. Wait, that wasn't what I wanted to test. Here's what I wanted to test. And it is actually dragging. Well, that's super trippy with no coordinate plane. What is going on? Okay. I guess it no coordinate plane. What is going on? Okay. I guess it worked. I wonder if it still does that on the if it does that on the upstream version too. Let me just copy over the code. Here. Make this a regular circle. Try running that. Not that. The test code. So it does do this. And if I hold D, yeah, it does do the same thing. And if you get this desynced, the dragging is pretty weird. Okay, at least it's doing the same thing. So scene, drag, that works. Cool. So I guess I can use the R key to reset it. Camera frame that to default state. Okay, sure. Daryl Golden, what's going on? Okay, don't know if to default state is actually a thing. To default. Okay, it looks like it is. So if on key press is already written, then I think I can just do this. I can drag like this. Perfect. And if it gets wait. Okay, so I drag, that'll get it desynced. Then if I press R, it'll reset. Great. Cool, cool. And I can move those into configuration later. So now we have the Z key for zooming, which I'll just make that do it regardless of what you're holding. So on mouse scroll. Self-dat, this will need the renderer. This will need the renderer. That'll need the renderer. Then on mouse scroll. Will look something like this. Wait, what does it do if you don't hold C? Get the inverse rotation matrix. Dot that with the offset. I'll just have to try it. Oh, it's panning. Interesting. So is it like S? How do you translate the camera? Here it is. If you hold S and then move the mouse. Okay, so here's S. Is it just not working? It's S and then on mouse motion.